Hey, hello everyone. How are you doing? I'm doing great. A bit tired this morning, to be honest, but a lot of energy, so I'm doing great. I have my coffee now. Audio is a bit loud. Maybe I am because yeah, I was on the wrong mic. So I said, how is everyone doing? I'm a bit tired this morning when I woke up, but now I have my coffee, so I'm good. And I think we're doing great. I'm looking at the platform right now. I have stats, like I know how much people have tried out, how much people have completed the day one. And I know that right now we have 100 persons, 104 persons that have completed day one. We have 2 guys or girls, I don't know, that have completed day 2. And no one has completed day 3 so far. So pretty great to see that. And we have 270 users in total for the platform. I know we've lost a few people with the platform. They were not able to use it, but I just wrote a tutorial for everyone to try it out. And yeah, the first team is the Numbats, Nuzzling Numbats is first. Then we have the Pathetic Penguins. The Square, not the Raptors are doing great. Pretty fun. Thiago, if you've joined, could you raise your hand? And I'm going to add you as a panelist. I don't think he's here yet. Okay, I'm going to come back in 2 minutes. Hello for everyone joining now. I'm going to wait 2 more minutes. And also I'm going to wait for Thiago to join. How is everyone doing? Have you completed the day one so far? Day one done. Great. Good morning. Okay, great. Thiago is there. Hey, hello. So Thiago is gonna do a quick demo of a tool he has been working on. So Thiago is a past graduate from the previous bootcamp. And yeah, he has been working on a tool that will help you with your project. It's not a replacement for the dashboard, it's an addition. And yeah, feel free to start. I think we can start now. It's 2.
Cool. So, hi everyone. I'm Thiago, and as Seb was saying, I did the last bootcamp. It was in January, and one of the first things that I felt was that I really struggled with setting up the package manager, setting up my environment so that I could test my own code. It's true that we have the playgrounds, it's really cool, but on your local machine to actually test stuff, I think it was important. And for this edition, I have been working on a side project that is called Motoko Spec, and it's using some libraries from around the community, and it basically allows you to easily test your own code. And based on that, and based on the needs of the bootcamp, I really thought it would be a really good use case. So I prepared these templates. I don't know if you're seeing my screen. Oh, you're not yet. So, Seb, I would need to have you allow me to share the screen.
Yes. You
Yeah,
should be
I
good
am
now.
allowed to. Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen. Seb, can you confirm that you're seeing it?
Yes.
Cool.
Maybe you want to zoom a
So,
bit?
okay.
Ah.
Maybe too much.
Maybe too much, yeah, a bit.
But pretty much I prepared this Motoko starter templates, okay? And what it does is that it comes already packaged with everything that you should need for this bootcamp. It already has the MOPS package manager. It already has the DFX configured. Anything that the package JSON also comes with prettier, which allows you to easily format your code and so on and so forth. And so I've added on the source of it. Let me zoom out. On the source code, I have, maybe I can show it a little bit in action. I have added the interface that already Step has given, and I've added an extra file that is the test.mo, and in it I've added the specs. for each of the methods that you should implement. And for example, if we wanted to run day one, you can see that, oh, sorry. Now I want to go back. On the README, you have several commands where you can pretty much just copy paste from there. And the first command is npm run test day one. I will show you live. So npm run test day one. And as you can see, it's pretty fast. And in this case, it's failing because I haven't implemented it on this template. And when you clone it, you also want to have it implemented. You need to implement it. But after you implement the first one, it already should be showing that the add has passed, and then the subtract has passed, and so on. So it's really good that you can run it as you go and leave for later maybe the harder ones. And it's the same for all the other days. So if you want to change it for day 2, it will run. Day 3, it will run, and so on. In this case, homework not found. And if I've also added a guide. I think this is useful. So it's a little bit slow because I'm broadcasting, it seems. It's just, maybe I can show you on this. On the README section, there is already videos, both in English and Spanish, explaining how you can set up on your own computer, but it should be really easy. It's just use this template, create a new repository. From there, you can clone and yeah, just change it whatever you want, and you should be fine. And then, as I say in the video, you just need to do npm install and nothing else. It's just npm install, and you're ready to go to code it, run the test. It's just that. No need to install anything else. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, I wanted to show you the README. You have here the command. You can also run prettier. Give you the example. And it formats all your code. And I think that's it. I don't know if we will have questions or not, but I think that's it. Steph, I pass it back to you.
Cool. Thank you very much. So once again, it's not like a replacement for the dashboard. It's something you can use to verify locally. The problem with the dashboard is that you have to deploy every time. It might take some time. And yeah, this is faster. Also, you have the template set up, so you can already, like, you don't need to set up the file structure.
Exactly. And also one thing that is important is, and where it actually is a little bit apart, is that when you submit your code, the dashboard is going to run a set of tests. And it's not the same tests as they are there. They should be compatible, but on the template that I've created, it's per method. So it does allow you to create add, test it, create subtract, test it. While if you do what is in the dashboard, you will only get the result, the last result, like this doesn't work, or maybe this works. But you don't really know. Sometimes it does give you good information, especially not on the first day, because on the first day, the calculator is pretty much just summing and dividing, etc. But on the rest of the days, there is already some feedback about what it works and what doesn't work. But yeah, be aware that it's a little bit different. What the dashboard is doing is a series of operations and making sure that all your commands are working fine. Yep. And not just a single.
Cool.
at the time. Cool.
Okay, I just sent the link in the chat, and I'm going to also, I know you've done some recordings. I'm going to add that to the channel and put the link to the templates in the Discord. And
Okay.
yeah, I think we're good with that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I think we have a few questions. Can I upload code in a canister already deployed? I've tried to run. Yeah, you receive an answer from Christian, so you don't need to uninstall the code. You can upgrade the canister. I recommend, yeah, defix deploy will do the trick. You don't need to go more complicated than that. Okay, next one. I'm having a problem with the deployment. I'll get this error.
Allow me, Seb, allow me to chime in on the question of Paulo about the deploying a canister, different projects on the same canister. I've done a video. It's in general. It's in English, but also there is a Spanish version as well. So I give the examples. I go through going day 1 to day 2 and showing it live, how it's easy. It shouldn't be complicated. I think this uninstall part is indeed not needed. I hope that video is helpful. And anyone that is seeing today, just go to general. I've sent there a couple of videos that I think will be helpful. Cool.
Cool, thanks. So next one. I'm not able to see like the link that is being submitted. So the question is anonymous attendee. If you want to share your screen, we can help you, but I need you to raise your hand. You can find that in the Zoom bar, in the menu below, and I'll be able to add you as a panelist so you can share your screen. Otherwise, I'm not able to help you more. Okay, cool.
I think I know what he's talking about, because I actually run to it when I was making the video. Is this when you're trying to open the Candid UI, right? I'm going to show it. You need to change the domain. Instead of being
Okay, wait.
icp0.io, it should be the other one.
I think it just came back. Okay, he's there. Hey. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Can I just share my screen then? Or
Yeah. You should be able to.
sorry, I haven't used Zoom, so
Yeah.
oh wait, share screen. Yeah, share screen. And this one. Yeah. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I tried a lot, but yeah, I tried. So I checked the video, so I renamed this and the canister. Actually, yeah. And then I did DFX.
So right now, I think I can see that the local replica is not live. You have an error happened during communication. This is what you get when you try to deploy locally, but you don't have defix, like the replica is not there. So you need to do defix start. And I recommend to, yeah, defix start, and I recommend to add the clean flag. So -clean. Okay, it's good. It can also work like this. And you need to have this terminal running every time. So you need to open a new one. Yeah, go inside this one.
Go this one.
And that's where yeah.
DFX, the deploy one?
Yeah.
Deploy calculator. Like this.
So now you're going to deploy on the IC. Do you want to deploy locally or on the IC?
On the IC.
Okay. So in this case, the command is dfx deploy -- network IC and then calculator.
Oh wait.
It will also work this way as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they have made a change on DFX version, I don't know, 11 or 12, that they allow that the options can always go to the end.
Okay.
In any
Good to know
any
that,
command
because it was
of
confusing.
DFX. Yeah, in any command of DFX, it just works both ways. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So can you see it? Then I get the error.
I
on
cannot
the-
see. I can only see the VS Code right now. So
How do I do that?
The error is in the browser, right? I wrote
Yes.
I wrote the answer. It's not. It has happened to me as well. Good that you're talking about this. Can you change on the browser, the domain, instead of the URL, instead of being icp0.io? Go a little bit. Can you on the URL? On the
URL?
Yes. What you have, just change the domain.
This
Because
one? Or
no, the one that you were in. I don't know, maybe if you click refresh, it will show again. Okay,
just
there
refresh.
it is. Yeah, on icp0.io, you see there.
Oh, ISP?
Yes, instead of being that domain, because they changed the domain recently, delete that part, just stay with the raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now write down ICP, no, IC0, not
ICP
the P, IC0 dot app. And now enter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
yes, I've come across this bug today as well. I've already contacted on the forum to let them know that this is happening. I think when they changed the domain, they didn't apply this module or something like that. Yeah. So
is it with a new version of DFX or it's an old version?
No, it's the new version of the domain. Oh yes, and it's also the new version of DFX. Version 14, every new canister that you create and this candid UI, it's always going to be to the new domain. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So yeah,
great to know that.
It's happening now. Yeah.
So do we have to change something, or?
You always need to change on the browser, but your code is perfectly fine. It's just for you to check Candid UI, you need to change to the old domain, because on the old domain it works fine. On the new domain, it seems that this module is having problems, and that's it. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Cool. How can you do that inside a source folder? You have multiple subfolders that contain individual main.mo file. Is that the way to be able to reuse canister IDs? Do you want to answer that? I think it was referring to your code, the template that you've shown with the.
Okay, I can try. You will always have per canister a different main mo, and on every single canister that you have, you can also have a DFX JSON that applies to it. In the case of the template that I've given, it's true that it always has a main mo and DFX JSON, because most spec always need the DFX JSON to run the individual everyday tests. But as long as you're in your project, if you're not using the template, in your project, if you have, imagine, calculator directory, a homework directory, and so on, as long as in your DFX, the canisters that you are setting up are, there is a main property there. So as long as the address there is correct, it's pointing to the right folder, it should be fine. You can have multiple canisters all and multiple folders all in the same DFX. And that's, I think, the answer to your question.
Yeah, I can share quickly. This is like something I've worked on for another lecture. And so this is not like a recommended way to do it, but it also works. There is no main.mo. Main.mo is a convention that we use for like, it's a convention. So you can have different names, but main.mo should be the file that you point here. So this is the file that you point for your canister, and this is where you will have the actor keyword. But I could do something like, I could do something cleaner, like source, and then array, and then buffer, and then lists, and move all of this inside. And maybe rename all of this to main.mo. I think that would be more of like cleaner way, recommended way to go about it. And then I change, of course, all of this to source, array, main.mo, and so on. Yeah, that would be more like adapted to do that. So you can totally have one source folder and then different canisters, as long as what you do is basically consistent with what you have in the DFX.json. That's what matters. So yeah. Next question. At the end of the bootcamp, do we need to submit our project source code? No, not necessarily. If you want to, you can, yeah. But not necessarily. As long as you pass the dashboard and test, you're good. I keep getting the following error. Okay, so this is the not a controller error. You need to make sure you are logging into the dashboard. So I know the dashboard has a few issues. So like, you need to make sure that you are connected. So for example, if I were to go here and then right now I'm not logged in, where is my canister? So like, I think I have this one maybe. No. Yeah, it's probably going to tell me that I'm not registered. You have a different error though, I think. Wait, is it not register or I can see the message. It was not a controller, no?
It was not a controller, and it happens. Can you go to profile? And then on profile, it's going to say.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah. Okay, I understand.
It's going to say you have a CLI principal ID and a normal principal ID, and it means that the CLI principal ID is wrong. It's different from the one that you are using on your terminal, the students.
Okay, wait. This is not the good one.
Pretty much, it's a defense saying that a student cannot say that another canister belongs to him and reuse the work from another student. It's a protection. It's checking that the one that deployed the canister is actually the student that is logged in.
Yeah, so what Thiago is mentioning here is when you go to profile, here you will find, okay, it's a bit slow. You'll find your principal ID here. So this is the one from the application, and this one you don't need to worry about that. It's this one. This one
exactly
should be the same as if you do this. Then you should get the same. This is to verify that, yeah, your canister, the canister you put actually belongs to you. More of a theoretical question.
In this case, it's different.
So yeah, just to finish, maybe if you're getting this error, make sure that you're using the good identity. And I know that some people set up an identity and then they lost it. And I'm going to work on a fix this afternoon so that I can change the principal ID of submitted. But I think for most of the case, it's just that you switch an identity. So use the commands are the commands to change identity. They fix identity list. Then you see all your identities. And let's say I want to switch to default, I will do this. And then if you do who am I, you can see that I'm using default and I can go back to, let's say, Seb. And now I'm using Seb. So yeah, make sure you're using the good one. Okay, next question. Do we have, oh yeah, no, it's a more theoretical question. Is it correct to assume a canister is like a virtual machine? Yeah, it's a virtual machine, or it's a kind of a decentralized virtual machine. And WASM is the application run on top of it. So I can reuse the same canister to, like the canister is just the container, then the WASM is the virtual machine. More view between the relation between canister and WASM. Yeah, you can see the canister as a container that can run WASM module. So you can switch the module that is inside. One thing that we didn't talk too much is that the canister has a stable memory. And even if you change the module inside, you can keep the stable memory. So that's how you could like upgrade an application and just not lose all your data. But yeah, I hope that answers the question. Canister ID from day one can be different from canister ID for project. Yeah, you can use different canister, but if you create canisters, you will pay every time. So you can also just reuse the same. As I just said, a canister is a container. You can change the module inside and just deploy a new code inside. Should we be using switch case in the calculator? I'm not sure. I understand the question fully. Is the user would choose the desired operation from the start, otherwise I found it.
I think I could help out. For you to keeping the previous value, the first step is to create the counter variable. So you need to create the counter variable. Imagine that it's 0, and then anything else that is happening, for example, add, it's adding that number to that counter. So it will keep on calling it the same. It's just for the exercise. I don't think you need a switch case. On a real life example, maybe you would, but in this case, I don't think you would need. The interface is add, subtract, multiply, divide, etc. So all the operations have been thought that way. They should be very atomic. No need for the switch case. I hope that answered.
Yeah, if you want to get more details, maybe you can raise your hands. But I think I understand your question a bit more now. It's also this is the way I decided to like code a calculator. So like for example, instead of having add taking 2 arguments and returning the result, I decided that add would be adding the counter because I wanted to have some kind of variable that you modify. It's very much for the exercise. It's not like the only way to do it. Why float dot exponential takes only 1 argument as the exponential and does not also take a base value?
I can answer that. I can also answer that. Exponential is exponential. It's always to the power of 2. It doesn't need. I also had a student that had this same question or same problem. It's confusing the power with the exponential. They're not the same thing. For you to do the power, it will be it's like multiply with the asterisk, and now it's going to be 2 asterisks. Imagine that you have 2 to the power of 3, so 2 asterisks to the 3. It should give you 8, and that's the answer.
Yeah, I think maybe I can show the difference between the two. So the first one was the
OP
public
is
function,
saying
like
exponential.
power. Like let's say we take a NOT and we return. It's gonna be a NOT, not a float this time, but let's do.
Yep, and he was doing floats, exp, like exponential.
I don't know if it's a very clear example, but maybe just let's do. Let's say we just want to do a square function. So we just want to go n . So we could do like this and multiply by n, but we could also use this notation in Motoko. So this is the power, and you could do 2, and yeah, this is the way to go. And I think the other function is this one, right?
That's exponential is always to the power of 2.
Yeah. You mean, wait, this one?
E raised to the x power.
No, it's to the x power, but it's always the exponential of like the log. I mean the Euler constant, like e. Not the Euler constant, but like this is you know, I think it's this value, like it's this one.
Okay.
Like the I don't know what. Yeah, this one. This. What's the name of this constant? I have it on my. Yeah, the Euler number, like this one. But I recommend to watch a math video now, mathematics, because it's yeah, you don't want to use this one for the bootcamp. Like this is not this one. So it's gonna return the value of the e constant to the x power. But what we want in the bootcamp is something more like this, like using this notation. Anyway, I hope I didn't confuse the person more.
Next question.
How many cycles cost all the bootcamps project? Yeah, I think 3 trillion cycles should be enough. Like maybe let's say 4. If you use the same canister every time. I mean, even less actually. Yeah, actually even less. I think you should be able with 2 trillion cycles to do all the bootcamp. This is something that I was thinking about this morning. What's the minimum amount we need per student? And actually, I think it's 2. If you do the good command, it would be 2 because you need like 1 trillion to create a canister, and then let's say 100 trillion to like do all the deployments and all the things. But yeah.
Seb, actually, I am thinking that it's fine for a project of day 1, and I think day 2, but at least on the day 5, there is a verifier and there is a calculator. I think
yes,
the calculator is the canister that is deployed dynamically. I think it's going to consume deployment cycles again. But in general, it shouldn't be much.
For day 5, they don't really need to deploy the calculator. I put it as an example so they can test, because the verifier should like verify the calculator. But it's not like something, the calculator is not something they have to submit. So they should be able to. There will be a lecture dedicated to the final project.
True.
For day 5 in any case. So I'll be able to clear everything at this moment. stable variable and orthogonal persistence. Where are they saved physically? In the nodes. So a canister is only like an abstraction of, well, you have the nodes all around the world into data centers. They run the ICP protocol and they run inside a subnet. And let's say you have 20 nodes. They come to consensus. It's how the canister actually exists physically. And so if you have a stable variable, it's going to be saved in all the nodes. So 20 times replicated, for example, or 13 times or 40 times, depends on the subnet that your canister is in. Can actually show you if you're interested. There is something called dashboard.internetcomputer.org, which gives good information about the nodes and the subnet. So let's check my canister, the one I've deployed, so the calculator that I've deployed for day one. It's kind of like the Candid UI. We can do the add method. So like we can try, let's say 10. Okay, so it seems like my counter was already to 3. So we have the methods, we have the interface, and we also have here some information. So we can see the controller of the canister and the subnet where the canister is deployed. And then let's check the subnet. So this is a subnet with 13 nodes. And we can actually see the nodes. So I can say I have one in San Jose, one in Munich, one in Brussels, one in Tokyo, one in Zurich, Orlando, Ljubljana, Singapore, Zurich, Dallas, Frankfurt, Bucharest, Geneva. Pretty nice. And you can see the data center owner, the node provider. You have a few informations about the subnet. You can see it. So right now it's pretty located in Europe, it seems. But there are nodes coming in South America, some in Africa, and more in Asia as well. So I hope that answers the question pretty clearly. Is it possible to use 2 actors in one canister? No. One canister is one actor. The actor model, it's explained in the chapter 1, is very much related to what a canister is. Actor, I would say actor and canister can be used very like interchangeably. If you go very like in the theory, I would say it's not correct to say that. Like if you say that to someone at Definity, I don't think that they approve, but in your mind, you can think of them as the same. It's just that actor is a word that we use in like computer science theory. And it's a way of, it's more like a mathematical model of how a system can work. So an actor receives messages, an actor processes messages, an actor has an internal state, an actor can send messages to other canister, to other actors. And then canister is more of a term that was invented by Definity to explain their concept of like decentralized computer or decentralized virtual machine. Yeah. So yeah, one canister, one actor.
Seb, I will need to leave. So
yeah.
Let me know later if you have any questions. But I'll need
Cool.
to leave.
Thanks for showing up.
I hope it was helpful.
Bye.
Keep it up. Bye.
Okay, I'm going to go through the rest. I think we have still 3 questions I can take. Sorry to ask the same question twice. I've double-checked the CLI principle in the dashboard and they match. Okay, can you raise your hand? I'm going to allow you to share your screen. May I create a node for ICP? If you want to join as a node, you can just send me a DM. I'll try to give you more information on how you can join. If you want to join, though, the cost is pretty high. It's 10K for one node. So yeah, you need to I'd say you need some experience with running hardware, and because it's very much advanced hardware to be able to get such performances. Okay, are you there? Yeah.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
can I share my screen?
Yeah, I need to remove mine. You should be good now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I can see it now. Yeah. So, okay.
So right
Looks
now
like-
I have my CL principal ID right here.
Yeah.
And when I check the dashboard, it's the exact same one.
Okay, yeah.
And I have my canister here, and this is the canister ID, right?
Yeah, I think I know what's happening. So this canister is deployed locally. Like the ID that you have here, you
Mhm.
can see that the address that you have, like the address that you have on the top of the screen,
I
it's
see.
172.0.0.1. So this is your local replica. Like you are accessing the canister that you've deployed locally. And the dashboard is live on the internet computer. So it's gonna check the canister with the ID like RNO2W and so on. When you submit this ID, it's gonna check the canister on the internet computer with this ID. And
Okay.
this
Don't
canister,
have
I
it.
don't think you have the control of this one. So yeah, you need to submit the canister that you deploy live, and you will get a different ID probably.
Okay. So probably better to do it again, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think the code it looks correct, but it's the deployment you deployed locally instead of on the mainnet.
Okay, understood. Thank you so much.
Okay. So, what was the... In the calculator, we need to guard against division by 0. If I use a check and return 0, is there another way? Yeah, there is another way. Let me share. So this is the last question I'm taking because I need to prepare for the next lecture. Sorry for the others. I'll try to be active on Discord a bit more this afternoon. Okay, so the way you could do it is like this. So public function div, then let's say you have a counter. Oops. Text, I'm going to do it just for natural numbers. And it returns a natural number. If n is equal to 0, then you can return null. Otherwise, you return n. You return counter divided by n. I think it's like this. Yeah. But of course, it's not gonna work with the nat type because you're returning null, and null is not of type nat, and that's why you need the optional type like this. And now this one is saying expression of type nat, so like this. Yeah, like this. So that's the way I was kind of expecting you to do it. I think it was just the difference is that in the calculator it's floats, but it was pretty much something like this. Okay.
Sorry, no one can see your screen.
Really? Wait, pretty strange. You were just looking at the screen one, right? Okay. This is the code. So like this. Instead of returning 0, return null, but then you have to make sure that you return optional nat and not just a nat. Otherwise you could do something like this, but I think it's more appropriated to return null because I mean the division by 0 is not equal to 0 if you're really strict about it. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. I'll see you in 15 minutes. We have the lecture on data structures, so it's going to be very important. We have array, list, and buffer. So yeah, see you there. Bye.